Here is the English translation of the attached content, rewritten with natural English grammar while preserving the original meaning and not adding or removing any content. What would happen if the quiet habit you repeat before bed is the very thing that could turn sleep into a medical emergency tonight? And what would happen if, after the age of 50, the body could no longer easily overlook that habit, causing the heart or brain to pay the price before morning? I am Dr. Thomas Bennett, and every day I warn older adults about cardiovascular risks at night. Tonight I will explain this clearly, in calm, useful language that you can actually apply at home. This is real. You will see which bedtime habits have been silently increasing danger while the body is supposed to be restoring its organs, even during sleep. That is what leaves families in shock. Stay with me, because near the end I will share a 10-second bedtime safety check right here. Welcome, and thank you for seriously looking at these risks tonight. After the age of 50, nighttime is supposed to be a time of restoration, not a period of silent strain. That matters right now. At night, blood pressure is supposed to settle down, the heart is supposed to work more gently, and the brain needs to be restored. Breathing needs to remain clear, oxygen is supposed to stay stable, and the nervous system must guide the recovery process safely. That is how the body is scientifically designed to remain stable. But some evening habits quietly push the body away from that pattern and closer to instability before anyone in the house even realizes it. That silent window can become dangerous. I have seen many families go numb because someone seemed fine when they went to bed, only to suffer a stroke or a cardiovascular event before morning. Usually that event is not random fate or a mystery that no one could have recognized in time. It is a body already under pressure meeting the wrong nighttime trigger at the wrong time. Sleep is not an empty period. Your circulation adjusts, fluid balance changes, and restorative signals are supposed to work together throughout the night without interruption. Blood vessels respond differently as the body moves into deeper sleep, becoming more vulnerable and less protected at night. Breathing patterns matter far more at this stage than most people have ever truly realized before. Hormonal signals also shift direction as the body enters deeper restoration mode each night. The brain expects stable oxygen, stable blood pressure, and calm in order to recover during the deepest hours of sleep. If food, alcohol, dehydration, poor breathing, or neglected habits interrupt that transition, the risk can rise. Quietly at first, then without any warning that anyone can hear. Many adults over 50 still trust the evening habits they formed decades ago, when the body had more reserve. That is understandable. A late salty dinner may feel completely normal after a long, busy, ordinary day at home. A late night drink can feel deserved after a long, stressful, exhausting day at work or at home. A pain pill before bed may seem careful, responsible, familiar, and completely normal as part of a home routine. Loud snoring is often treated as an annoyance rather than a warning that oxygen levels are dropping. Skipping water after a long day may seem like a small thing when you are tired and just want to sleep. But age changes the margin of safety in ways people do not always feel immediately. Arteries may become stiffer, blood pressure may fluctuate more, and blood sugar may stay elevated longer through the night and into the morning. Recovery may also be slower when sleep is already shallow, fragmented, or disrupted by breathing problems. The brain and heart may tolerate less oxygen stress than they once did during difficult nights. That is why the same bedtime habit can carry a higher price at 65 than it did at 45 or 50. This matters even more for people with high blood pressure, diabetes, excess weight, a history of smoking, family risk, or frequent nighttime waking. They are not weak or careless. They are simply more affected by the same habit and its quiet strain night after night. Many people still do not realize that risk has been building inside an ordinary evening habit for years. That is why a clear warning matters. In the next section, I will show you which bedtime habits need the closest attention after the age of 50 and why they matter. We will look at how they threaten the heart or brain during sleep, even when the evening seems peaceful and familiar. We will also discuss which simple changes can make tonight safer without disrupting your life or sending your mind into panic. This is not exaggerated, fear-based information. This video is real medical knowledge, clearly explained and created to be applied tonight in real life at home. You will hear about the habits, the mechanisms, the warning signs, and the safer alternatives in the simplest possible language in the next section. And before we finish, I will give you a 10-second bedtime check that older adults can use before turning off the lights. It is simple, fast, practical, easy to remember, and worth staying with me until the very end tonight. Now, let us begin. The first danger is not always a dramatic one. Very often, it starts with a late, heavy, salty dinner followed by a fast walk to the bedroom and the quiet belief that sleep will sort everything out. After 50, that belief becomes less reliable. During healthy sleep, the heart is supposed to do less work. Blood pressure is supposed to settle, and the body is supposed to shift into a more protected repair state. But when a large meal is still being digested, especially one packed with salt, refined starch, rich sauces, or greasy convenience food, the body stays busier than people realize. Now the stomach is full, circulation is pulled toward digestion, and the nervous system does not get the calm handoff it needs. If the meal also drives thirst, swelling, reflux, or a rapid rise in blood sugar, the night becomes even less stable. Some older adults then lie flat with a pounding chest, a burning throat, or a strange internal restlessness that they dismiss as simple indigestion. It may not be simple at all. The aging body does not absorb that bedtime mistake the way it once did. Arteries are often stiffer. Blood pressure may already run high. Many adults over 50 are carrying some mix of diabetes, extra weight, kidney strain, silent plaque, or an enlarged heart that does not relax as easily. In that setting, a late heavy meal can keep pressure more erratic, worsen nighttime reflux, and make sleep shallower when the heart and brain need steadiness most. I have seen this pattern in people who say the same thing. They ate late because family arrived, or because they were busy all day, or because nighttime is when they finally feel allowed to relax. Then they fall asleep in a chair, wake at midnight, move to bed, and assume the worst part is just poor rest. But the real problem is deeper. The body never got a gentle landing. The correction is not complicated, but it matters. Try to finish the heaviest part of dinner at least 3 hours before bed. Keep the late evening meal smaller, lower in salt, and easier to digest. After eating, stay upright for a while instead of dropping straight into bed. A short, gentle walk inside the house can help more than people expect. That one shift can reduce reflux, ease pressure swings, and help the heart enter the night with less strain. How many people over 50 go to bed thinking they are resting, when one bedtime habit may be stressing the heart all night? If that made you stop and think, comment "protect" right now, and let that one word remind you that safer sleep starts with one smarter habit tonight. And that is only the first layer. The second danger often looks harmless because it wears the mask of comfort. It is the nightcap, the extra glass of wine, the sleepy cocktail, or the habit of using alcohol as the bridge into sleep. Many adults say it helps them knock out faster. In a narrow sense, it can. But falling asleep quickly is not the same as getting protected sleep. Alcohol can make the first part of the night feel sedating while quietly disturbing what comes next. As it is metabolized, the nervous system can rebound, breathing can become less stable, heart rhythm can become more vulnerable, and blood pressure can swing in ways people never feel consciously. People are often surprised by that reversal. They think the body goes still because they went unconscious faster. But alcohol can fragment the deeper part of the night, increase sweating, trigger wake-ups, worsen dehydration, and lower the quality of the very sleep that was supposed to restore control. A person may spend many hours in bed and still come out of the night physiologically stressed. This becomes more serious after 50. The body handles alcohol more slowly, sleep is already lighter, and the margin for oxygen disruption is smaller. If a person snores, has untreated sleep apnea, takes blood pressure medicine, carries belly weight, or already wakes to use the bathroom, alcohol can magnify the instability. It may worsen snoring, deepen oxygen drops, dry the body out, and increase the chance that the brain and heart face the night under less favorable conditions. That matters because the sleeping brain hates instability. It does not want sudden oxygen dips, sudden pressure changes, or a racing pulse at 3 in the morning. Yet that is exactly what a routine nightcap can help create in the wrong body. Not every drink causes a crisis. The danger is the repeated pattern. Small insults repeated often stop feeling dramatic and start becoming normal. And that normalization is what makes this dangerous. Once a person starts saying, "I always sleep better after a drink," they stop checking whether they really do. They stop noticing the louder snoring, the hotter sleep, the early morning anxiety, the dry mouth, or the strange heavy fatigue the next day. The ritual gets protected emotionally, even while the body is paying for it biologically. One older man once told me his evening drink was the only part of the day that felt like his. He did not think of it as a health choice. He thought of it as peace. But his wife noticed that on the nights he drank later, he snored harder, slept hotter, woke confused, and looked gray in the morning. That is the kind of clue families miss until something more serious happens. A safer shift is to move alcohol away from bedtime or cut it out of the late evening entirely. If you choose to drink, do it earlier, keep it modest, and never use it as a sleep tool. Replace the ritual, not just the liquid. Warm herbal tea, light stretching, quiet music, or a simple wind-down routine protects sleep far better than sedation that turns unstable later. The third mistake is quieter still, and many older adults do it because they are trying to avoid the bathroom at night. They drink too little water in the evening, or they end the day dehydrated after coffee, alcohol, salty food, or a long busy afternoon, then go to bed assuming less fluid means less trouble. During the night, the body still needs enough circulating fluid to keep blood moving smoothly and tissues supplied. When someone goes to bed relatively dehydrated, especially after sweating, drinking alcohol, taking a diuretic, or eating a salty late meal, blood pressure can become less stable, and the blood itself may become more concentrated. That does not mean one dry evening causes a stroke. It means the conditions can become less forgiving, particularly in older adults whose vessels are already less flexible. There is a hidden trap here. Many people imagine dehydration only as a hot weather problem or an exercise problem. But mild evening dehydration can build quietly through ordinary choices. Too much caffeine late in the day, too little water at dinner, alcohol after dinner, a diuretic taken on schedule. Worry about getting up at night. By bedtime, the body may already be running with a smaller safety margin than the person realizes. This is where age changes everything. The thirst signal weakens. Kidney reserve may be lower. Many people over 50 take medicines that influence fluid balance, pressure, or heart rhythm. Some also wake already prone to dizziness, dry mouth, leg cramps, or morning headaches, yet they never connect those clues to what the cardiovascular system faced overnight. They think they just slept badly. In reality, the body may have spent hours trying to protect flow under poorer conditions. This pattern also interacts with morning risk. If pressure is unstable through the night and the body wakes slightly dry, the first moments of standing or hurrying to the bathroom can feel surprisingly rough. Some older adults notice pounding, lightheadedness, or a vague sick feeling that fades later, so they ignore it. But those are the kinds of body signals that should make a person rethink what the night demanded. I think of the retired woman who stopped drinking after dinner because she feared falling on her way to the toilet. The intention made sense. But by bedtime, she was often dry, constipated, headachy, and waking with a pounding pulse. Her fix was not to flood herself before sleep. It was to hydrate earlier and more evenly, then taper gently instead of sharply cutting fluid late. That is the protective move here. Front-load more of your fluids earlier in the day. With dinner, drink a reasonable amount instead of very little or far too much. In the last hour before bed, keep it gentle, not excessive. The goal is balance, not dryness. Not overfilling. A steadier hydration pattern can make the night more stable for pressure, circulation, and morning recovery. And then we come to the strongest layer. The most dangerous bedtime pattern is trying to sleep through oxygen trouble. This is the older adult who snores heavily, jerks awake, wakes with a dry mouth, falls asleep in front of the television, uses alcohol or sedatives late, sleeps flat on the back, and tells everyone, "I just do not sleep well anymore." That sentence can hide a serious risk. Sleep is supposed to protect the brain and heart by lowering demand and stabilizing repair. But when breathing repeatedly narrows or stops during the night, oxygen falls, carbon dioxide rises, stress hormones surge, and pressure can spike again and again while the person looks peacefully asleep from the outside. The heart does not experience that as rest. The brain does not experience that as safety. It experiences repeated alarms. This is why untreated sleep apnea, severe snoring, and nighttime breathing disruption deserve much more respect after 50. Aging tissues are less resilient, the airway can collapse more easily, the vessels feeding the brain may already be narrowed, and the heart may already be managing high pressure, rhythm issues, or silent structural strain. Add a heavy late meal, alcohol, dehydration, or sleeping pills used the wrong way, and the whole pattern becomes more dangerous than any one habit by itself. Notice the difference here. A heavy dinner mainly loads digestion and pressure. Alcohol can destabilize breathing and rhythm. Dehydration can reduce the margin of circulatory safety, but oxygen disruption is the layer that can tie everything together. When oxygen keeps falling in a vulnerable body, every other weakness starts to matter more. This is also why people sometimes miss the seriousness. They think the threat must look like dramatic chest pain or a collapse in front of others. But nighttime vascular stress is often quiet. It may look like louder snoring, unexplained sweating, waking with a racing heart, morning confusion, bad dreams, or exhaustion that no nap seems to fix. The body often whispers before it screams. Families often describe the clues in plain language. He gasps. She stops breathing for a moment. He wakes angry. She wakes with headaches. He falls asleep sitting up, then snores like a saw in bed. These are not just annoying sleep habits. They can be signs that the body is fighting through the night instead of repairing through it. Another missed amplifier is the sleeping pill used without context. I am not saying every sleep medicine is dangerous. I am saying that in a person who already snores, drinks alcohol, sleeps flat, or has untreated breathing pauses, anything that deepens airway collapse or delays the brain's response to low oxygen deserves caution and review. The problem is not always the pill itself, it is the pattern the pill enters. The practical shift starts with taking symptoms seriously. Loud, regular snoring, choking awakenings, morning headaches, dry mouth, new confusion on waking, or falling asleep unintentionally during the day should not be brushed aside as aging. Sleep on your side more often than your back. Avoid alcohol close to bedtime. Be careful with sleeping pills unless they have been reviewed by your doctor, especially if snoring or breathing pauses are already part of the picture. And if the signs fit, ask for evaluation rather than guessing. Here is the 10-second tip I want you to remember. Before bed, lie on your side and take 10 slow breaths through your nose. If that already feels obstructed, noisy, or forces your mouth open, do not sleep flat and do not dismiss heavy snoring that night. It is not a diagnosis, but it is a useful pause that can make you respect your breathing before you trust the night. So the real bedtime danger is not one dramatic act. It is a repeated nighttime pattern that keeps the body from entering protected sleep. Late heavy food, alcohol used as a sedative, dehydration from poor evening balance, snoring and oxygen trouble ignored because they have become familiar. That is how ordinary nights become less safe. And the encouraging truth is just as real. Many people can lower this strain without buying anything complicated. They need a lighter evening load, calmer breathing conditions, steadier hydration, and the humility to stop calling every warning sign normal. The body after 50 still quietly tries to protect you. It simply needs more help and fewer nightly obstacles than it did before. What we walk through tonight is not a random list of scary habits. It is one connected pattern. Sleep is supposed to lower strain, steady pressure, support oxygen balance, and give the heart and brain a safer window to recover. But a late heavy meal, a bedtime drink, poor evening hydration, and ignored snoring can all push the night in the opposite direction. That does not mean you should go to bed afraid. It means you should go to bed prepared. A heart-safe nighttime routine can be simple. Finish heavier food earlier. Keep the late evening lighter and less salty. Stay upright for a while after dinner. Do not use alcohol as your sleep medicine. Hydrate earlier in the day, then taper gently instead of becoming too dry or too full at bedtime. Sleep on your side if snoring is an issue. Keep your room calm, dark, and cool enough that sleep is not a struggle. And if breathing pauses, choking awakenings, morning headaches, or unexplained exhaustion keep showing up, get that checked instead of normalizing it. Remember the pattern in one quick line. Do not overload digestion, do not destabilize breathing, do not dry the body out, and do not ignore oxygen trouble. That is prevention, that is protection, and that is something many people can start tonight. Please share this with someone who says, I am fine, I just sleep badly, because that assumption can hide risks families need to notice sooner. Subscribe if you want more calm, practical guidance that helps protect health before trouble becomes a crisis. And in the comments, write rest if you are choosing a safer nighttime routine starting tonight. That one word can be your private reminder that safer sleep is not luck. It is a pattern you build. Thank you for staying with me. Your body changes after 50, but that does not mean you are powerless. Small, steady choices still matter. Protect your sleep, respect your warning signs, and take good care of your heart while it rests. Tonight is a night to begin.
My priority is ensuring you receive the highest quality care tailored to your needs.
I know you're worried, but we need to act fast. Trust the process, and we are going to get through this together.
Sleep is vital for heart health. It allows your blood pressure to decrease and your cardiac workload to become significantly gentler.
The lungs inhale, bringing vital oxygen into the bloodstream, stimulating the nervous system.
Circulation shifts during sleep, fluid balance redistributes, and restorative signals move through the body in synchronized waves.